One day, a great and kind-hearted woman came to the middle of a village. Her name was Bharti, and she was adorned in such a beautiful way that it seemed as if the golden grains of the fields, the petals of lotus flowers, and the shining sparkle of flowing water had all come together like ornaments of a grand palace. Near her hands, it felt as though every tree, plant, grass, and vine had spread out their green coverings to welcome her. Her veil was filled with colorful flowers, and around her neck was a necklace made of tiny pearls of water that shone just like the sacred river Ganges. Her ornaments and decorations were so pure and spotless that people noticed how the gentle sound of her footsteps seemed to cleanse the earth and give it new life. A crown like pure white snow rested upon her head, and within her heart there was a soft and peaceful sound, like the sacred Om, which filled the listeners with hope. When she raised her voice, it was so firm and truthful that it echoed far and wide. The waves of the ocean seemed to roar in response, and a new excitement rose in the hearts of those who heard it. Its strength was said to be so powerful that it even shook the land of Lanka. People stood around her watching. Some began to cry, some began to smile, and on everyone's lips was only one wish: praise and victory. Because in her presence, all sorrow, darkness, bitterness, and crookedness began to feel small and unimportant. Through her words, she explained to everyone that true strength lies in kindness, truth, and a pure heart. And with her gentle steps, it felt as though she blessed everyone, promising that from now on golden crops would grow in the fields, happiness would live in homes, and the rivers would continue to flow in purity. Hearing her simple words, people began to change. Children learned to laugh again. Peace appeared on the faces of the elderly, and a new energy seemed to spread throughout the entire region. This is the story of how a simple, goddess-like figure arrived one day, gathered everyone together with hope, and left behind a light of faith that continued to burn in the hearts of people for a very long time. That day, the atmosphere of the village also felt different. The soft sunlight of morning was falling on the fields, the fragrance of flowers was floating in the air, and the leaves of distant trees were gently swaying, as if nature itself had prepared to welcome her arrival. When people looked at her, they felt as if the spirit of the land itself had taken a human form and come among them. Children curiously walked closer to her. Women stepped out of their homes to see her, and elderly villagers stood quietly, gazing at her with deep respect. There was such calmness in her walk that it seemed every step she took was giving new life to the earth. Farmers who were working in the fields paused and held their plows still as they watched her. And in their hearts, a new belief began to grow, that their hard work would surely bear fruit, and their fields would truly shine like gold. When Bharati spoke to the people, there was no harshness in her voice. Instead, it carried the warmth and affection of a caring mother. She told the villagers that if they lived together with love, helped one another, and walked on the path of truth, their lives would naturally fill with light and happiness. There was such sincerity in her words that people's hearts began to soften. Those who once had quarrels started looking at each other with gentle smiles. Small children sat near her feet, listening with wonder, their eyes shining with joy and curiosity. Slowly, the entire village gathered around her. Some people touched her feet to receive her blessing, some stood with folded hands, and others simply watched her quietly. In that moment, it felt as if time itself had paused and a new light had been lit inside every heart. Bharati looked around at everyone, smiled gently, and then slowly continued on her path. Yet even after she left, her words and blessings remained in the hearts of the villagers. From that day onward, the village began to change. People started working together with unity. The fields looked greener and more prosperous. And in every home, a new flame of hope seemed to glow. In this way, the memory of that kind and radiant woman remained forever in the hearts of the people. And they often told their children the story of how one day Bharati came among them, bringing with her new hope, new strength, and a new light for their lives.